And now, after all of the preparations that were done, just count how many moments we've been through, we are finally coming forward to the point where we need to assemble and then stitch our details together. We start with this little detail that has an embossing. I double check the position of it, and as soon as I know where to apply it, I start to scratch that area using sandpaper. A few words about this scratching procedure. As the letter is already treated, its surface is rather smooth, and even if we glue the detail on the top of that, there is a high risk that it will slightly slide along the surface during stitching or even will not get attached properly. And to avoid it, we need to make that area a bit rough so the glue can get stuck on the fibers. After that, I carefully tap it a bit with a hammer and move towards the sewing machine. I start to stitch along the edge of the detail, and first stitch I do double to fasten the seam. It is also important to know that when you are stitching, it is you who is holding the detail and it is you who is controlling the process, not the machine. After the stitching is done, I cut off the threads and melt the ends using the lighter so the thread will not slip out. During the next step, I have to assemble two front details together. I determine the placement of the overlap and do scratching. First on the detail that is made of the cognac color leather and then on the back side of the dark brown. I generously apply the glue on the both parts and spread it. It is also important to remove the bubbles to get the even layer of glue, so I need to remove all the extras here. And now when the glue on the both parts dried a bit, I carefully apply one detail on the top of another, checking the marks and tap it slightly along the edge and from the back side. The next step is to stitch them together. And here I go slowly and carefully as the detail is curved and I need the seam to be right along the edge. As soon as we're done here, we are going to the next step of assembling. Now I'm going to work with the back detail. As it is one piece with the closure, it will be only the closure that needs attention at this stage. So I start with applying the panel that has a snap button sewn to the closure, and here the procedure is all the same as with all other details, determining the position, sanding, applying the contact glue, and assembling parts together. And as soon as I'm done with that, I need to stitch along the edge of the closure. All seams that's supposed to be on the most visible place, like the front side of our case for example, have to be stitched from the top side. I use an awl to mark those points that I'm going to start and end with. Those holes will also be my reference when it is time to stitch front and back parts together. When you use the machine, you can notice that the seam on the top side, where the needle piece is the surface, looks a bit different than the seam on the underside. And so, to make my stitching look nicer when the case is closed, I need to stitch the closure around separately before I apply the front side. Now both the front and the back parts are ready and I start to assemble them together. And again, here I do the same as with all other details. Sanding along the edge to make leather a bit rougher. Then applying and spreading the contact glue. So you might notice that I do it with a finger here, so do not do like me. Try always to use the applicator. Here I finally put the parts together, a bit hammering and finally stitching. During the stitching, I changed the stepping part of the press-a-foot twice because this part was moving on the left side and there is a rising on the little detail that had got embossed and it will not let it step on and hold the detail properly. So I need to make it to step on the other side, and here you see I use the letter piece that has the same thickness to let it step on that instead. Finishing my stitching and now go into the last step and to the next episode.